You may be sitting there thinking that you have nothing to say. There's nothing special about you. Who are you even? Why would you even start a YouTube channel? What are you gonna talk about? You're sitting there thinking, oh, my house is not aesthetic enough. Or I'm not charismatic enough. Or I don't know, whatever language you want to start your YouTube in. I don't speak that language well enough. Stay long enough. Just stay long enough on this video and you'll feel so much better about yourself. That's the point of this video. I want to make this raw, honest, vulnerable video, which is, I hope, going to be like an encouragement for everyone that is just feeling too insecure, too afraid to, you know, start their own YouTube channel, to start their own online presence, thinking that they're not good enough, they're not interesting enough, they're too ordinary to have a story to tell the world, the internet. For everybody that is feeling scared, I'm here to tell you this is your sign to just do it. Okay, there's no other way around it. You just have to do it, and you have to do it scared. It will be scary, and it is scary. This is just my second video and I am absolutely like shaking, right? Because that's just who we are initially. We are not used to doing these things. We are not used to exposing ourselves out there on the internet. I want to create this video first of all as an introduction to myself, to my channel. Obviously, being my second video, no one really has a reason to follow me yet because no one knows me. No one knows what this channel is going to be about. So to be honest, I don't know either 100%, right? I'm just going off vibes right now. But I just wanted to sit here in front of the camera and offer myself this basically exposure therapy to something that I'm very scared about, but something that I so deeply want to do, which is create content and feel comfortable doing it. And there's no other way to do it until I actually start doing it, right? So this video obviously is going to be, I'll be talking a bit about myself, like giving you guys some like facts about who I am. I have my cat here, sorry if I keep pausing to like give her pets. So to give you guys an insight into who I am, why I created this channel, how I got to create this channel, and basically like a sneak peek into my story and what makes me unique, right? Because like I said, you might think you're not unique, but you are. There's only one of you in this world, and the exact events that you've lived and the order that they happened in is unique to you and created your own unique story. So as a second purpose for this video, I want it to be an encouragement for everyone who is too afraid to start, who doesn't believe in themselves, to find that courage and to feel inspired to give it a go. Just give it a go. Just start and record your first video and just talk about whatever you want to talk about. Just start it. Just don't stop being afraid. Okay, this is just a sign to tell you to stop being afraid and just do it. And I'm going to do that. I'm gonna take the first step, okay? And I'm doing it, and I'm so scared, but I'm still doing it, and it's normal. So obviously the first thing I want to talk about is I have a tremendous fear of public speaking. The elephant in the room, right? And this is completely normal. Once you start to accept that and realize that there's nothing wrong with you, that we are social beings who, oh, hey, sorry, she's just trying to grab my shirt. Shiva, no. Once you start to accept the fact that that's completely normal and there's nothing wrong with you, and that you have no reason to compare yourself to people that have been doing it and exposing themselves to this for a long time, long enough to get over the fear, or to be able to mask it well enough to look like they don't have that fear anymore. Instead of comparing yourself to them, realize that it's completely normal. As social beings, we are conditioned and have been conditioned ever since, you know, humans existed to put a certain value into the opinions of others, into others' acceptance of who they are, of what they have to say, of their presence in society. Because at one point back in the day, that used to dictate whether we would survive or not in that society, like literally, right? Not fitting in could sometimes get you killed. So I guess to a certain extent we carry that on. It's a survival mechanism that we've developed as humans, but it also depends on how you were raised, right? And the culture that you were raised in, and how your education system prepared you to be better at it than other people, or how it stifled your development in that area. And as far as I'm concerned, I was raised in a system that I would like to say wasn't exactly as encouraging into this in this aspect. And obviously, depending on your personality, you can overcome that a lot easier, or you can, you know, become a victim of the lack of encouragement that a system like the one I grew up in failed to give you. So for me, growing up, public speaking was always associated with a lot of fear, a lot of judgment, and a lot of performance anxiety, right? So public speaking would be viewed as a performance that if you don't do well enough, you would get into like really, really big trouble. And I can talk a lot about this. A lot of it has to do with the education system that I was part of, and in my country, the country where I come from. And I can make a completely separate video about this, talking about this. So, and I probably will, because I would love to compare that education system that I grew up in to the one of the country where I'm currently in. Right, so public speaking, it's no different speaking to a camera, because subconsciously you imagine there's like a crowd watching you, and you film this content, but then you're going to put it out there for a whole crowd of unknown people sitting there watching you and judging you and everything you have to say. And obviously that's scary, because you don't even know who your audience is going to be. If you're going to have an audience, I'm just talking about myself. My first video only has 20 views, okay? So if you could go and watch that, I'll be very grateful. But anyways, back to the point. But yeah, it's normal, okay? You're not broken. You haven't practiced it, and you haven't found the courage to do it whilst being afraid of it. So it's not about waiting to not fear it anymore. It's about accepting that in the beginning you have to do it scared. And I know it sounds cliche, but that's the truth. And I've proven to myself so many times through so many experiences that unfortunately there's no right time to do something, and the only way to, if not completely let go of that fear, but to be able to do it with less fear, is to actually do it when you're most scared of it. This point leads me to a second point. I have moved countries. I am originally from Romania, and I moved to Scotland for university. That in itself can be a completely different video, because it was quite an experience moving countries. Obviously moving from Romania, which is in Eastern Europe, to the UK. So yeah, moving from one side of Europe to the other, obviously there was a big culture shock. I can definitely make a whole video about this and to explain about the differences between, you know, life in Romania, the system there, the mentality there, the people there, the culture there, and the culture in the UK. But yeah, that's what I did. I moved here for uni in 2023, so 3 years ago, three and a half years ago. I came here by myself. I left everything and everyone I knew back home. I came here not knowing anybody, just me and my suitcase. It was probably one of the scariest thing I had to do in my entire life, but so worth it. Do what you're scared of doing, because you never know where it can lead you, right? Speaking of uni, I currently have 2 master's degrees. So obviously I finished my bachelor's in law in Romania. I finished 1 master's degree in Romania, and then I came here to study a second master's degree in Scotland. And what makes me unique in that is that I guess despite having those degrees, right now I'm working as a delivery driver. I will definitely make another video about that because that's something worth talking about, right? I think my whole experience coming here and facing the harsh reality of an immigrant would be a whole topic to talk about. I don't want to sound dramatic and to be a victim, like, oh, my life is so hard as an immigrant. No, it's not. And I know other people had it a lot harder than I have. It was hard in a sense of accepting the difference in status, of being in a completely different country than your own, and accepting that literally no one knows you here, and the fact that you're different. No matter how nice people are with you, and no matter how professional they want or try to be with you, they will naturally put you in a different group than their own. So again, this is a natural thing, right? This is a survival thing that people have developed. They recognize people that are different to them, and naturally they will look for reasons to accept them as one of their own. So they will make them unconsciously, they will look for those reasons, right? They will make the immigrant prove themselves as worthy. That was another like culture shock, I guess, if you want to call it. That was something that I was not used to. I was not used to being different, right? I was just used to being in my own country with my people, you know, their pros and their cons. It wasn't perfect, but it was my country, right? I lost the status that I had in my own country and the way I viewed myself within that society that I belonged to by default. And I had to adjust to a place where I was just Maria, Maria the immigrant, Maria who no one knows, Maria that has to prove that she's worth being viewed as a worthy member of society. That sounds dramatic, but unfortunately there are still stigmas that are out there, and not just when it comes to Romania. And I'm not insinuating that everyone places these stigmas on certain countries or nationalities or anything like that, but even if they do, I don't blame them, because there's a lot of misinformation, and I mean, that's how stigmas are formed, right? And that's how generalizations, is that a word? That's how people end up like generalizing and creating stereotypes. But anyways, these are things that I don't even agree with, so it's not even worth talking about. But for example, right, I had to, back home, right, I was working in corporate before moving here. I was working in corporate, a place where I was hired before I even finished my bachelor's degree, which doesn't say that the company I worked for was very unserious, right? It was a very big financial group that I actually worked for, a banking group, a very prestigious one. And but that just goes to show that even though obviously the job itself was a very entry-level job, but the fact that I could land a job just through, you know, the way I could present myself, my skills, and the you know, the enthusiasm that I showed, that just shows that there was already a default trust in me as being able to perform and to deliver results. Even though I didn't have the diploma to show it, obviously I had proof that I was in that university and that I was developing the skills that they needed, right, for that role. So I was more than qualified, right, like skills wise anyways, for that position. But I think like maybe somebody else would have needed more proof, right, would have needed like more qualifications to attain that role. So that was, for me, that was what it was like for me back home. Obviously, after I graduated, I managed to change positions and to get into more and more complex roles, right, where you could only access if you had the qualifications for it. So in only 3 years, I managed to become sort of like equivalent of a process expert, which I was very, very proud about. It was something that was like stroking my ego in a very nice way, and was making me think like, whoa, I'm actually a professional, you know. I have a very important role in this company. I am someone, right? Like I made it, more or less, in the corporate world. It was just a very nice confidence boost. And then coming here, I never thought that I would have to not beg, but like just pray for a retail job or for a receptionist job. Not that there's anything wrong with these jobs, obviously, but by comparison, these are jobs that you don't really need qualifications for, right? So me already having some qualifications, I would just have to beg the universe to just give me a job so I would have some money to sustain myself. I had savings, obviously, but you know, just to have a continuous income, like I had to actually pray that they accept me. I guess that was just me facing reality, right? You could say I was very sheltered from these things before moving here, and I completely understand that. And I saw a completely different world, right, to what I was used to. So that was another thing another cool fact about me, and another, I guess, point in my story that made me who I am today. Right, so I'm not going to get into the reason as to why I left my country and moved here, and why I decided to pursue a degree in this country, and why I got nowhere with that degree. Before anyone comments anything about these topics, let's not comment about it just now, because they deserve a video in themselves. Everything that I've mentioned, obviously, part of the causes of it all are due to other factors, and part of them are due to myself. This is more like, I'm just stating facts. Like, look where I am right now, and we'll not discuss the whys right now. We'll just discuss the fact that I just wanted to present to you guys, which is a funny fact. Another fact, obviously English is not my first language. However, I'm aware that I'm relatively fluent in it, and that is due to the fact, I think, when I was growing up, for some reason, like by default, the cartoons, right, were dubbed in Romanian, but for some reason my cartoons were left in their original like English voice, and like with, you know, the very common American accent that most cartoons were made in, and like movies that you'd see, right? So I guess from a very young age, it just felt very organic to me, like learning English. I just grew up hearing it everywhere, and then when I got into school, I realized that it just felt very natural learning it, and I already had the accent down. I had or like, you know, to a certain degree, I had some quite solid vocabulary, and then it was just something so easy, and obviously whatever is easy you really like. So I started really liking learning English, exposing myself to more and more English. To me, English became almost like a second language that I feel very comfortable with, even though maybe I wasn't as good at English yet. I just really, really enjoyed it. And so learning it became more and more comfortable and more natural. And then I also used to play a lot of online games. So obviously I had a lot of online friends with whom I could only speak in English. Why maybe I sound different than most of like Eastern Europeans speaking English. I don't want to insult anyone. And I'm gonna stop doing this whole disclaimer thingy. I know I'm very awkward, and I apologize if I have said anything that offended anyone so far. That's just me being awkward right now, and I want to be as unfiltered as possible. I don't have a script. I want to edit this as little as possible because I have quite a busy day today, so I won't have time to edit this as much. And I'm just I'm learning, okay? And if you have any tips for me, yes, please give them to me, because I would really appreciate that. Yeah, anyways, there are I've heard some Romanians speaking the most beautiful, impeccable English I've ever heard a foreigner speak. So Romania is amazing at this, right? Because from a young age we're told no one in the world speaks your language. Your language is nothing. In order to survive in this world, right, you have to learn at least one foreign language. And most of the people in Romania speak like at least 2 foreign languages. And it's just, I think because you grow up with that knowledge, right, and that almost like fear, but it is the truth, right, because Romanian is not an international language, right? Because you grow up with that knowledge, it almost becomes like second nature, and it's just an accepted fact that you have to learn at least one foreign language. So a lot of Romanians speak up to, like, I don't know, if not fluently, at least to a beginner level, they speak at least like 3-4 languages, like they understand. And it also helps the fact that Romanian is a Latin language as opposed to what many people would think, because we're surrounded by Slavic language speaking countries, or that have Slavic influences. We are a Romance language, which is very similar to Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, right? So I guess that's a plus for us, because it is, I guess, easier for us to learn these languages, especially Italian and Spanish. And well, I would say French. I don't know. I don't want to mention French because I have my own personal experience with the French language. We're just not that close, okay? Even though funnily enough, it's the second language that I speak after English. So it's the second best language I can speak after English. But don't ever ask me to say anything in French, okay? I know the French will not even care. They will definitely not want to hear me speaking French. But like, you other language speaking people, please don't ask me to do that. Oh yeah, it's easier for us to learn different languages because of that. And also Romanian has quite a difficult grammar, so I can't vouch for Mandarin and Arabic, but I think every other language is quite easy for Romanians to learn, if you were to compare their grammar to our grammar. If you guys are interested in learning Romanian, if you'd like to learn some words in Romanian, let me know in the comments, right? But yeah, that's my story with English. That's why I sound the way I sound. It's not perfect, and also since moving to Scotland, we all know how different Scottish accent sounds to my accent, right? And to this weird mixture of whatever accent I have. It sounds so different. But since moving here, obviously, I feel like my English, my accent itself, or the way I pronounce certain words, has changed, like in a weird way that I don't know how to explain. Like some words, I almost pronounce them with, and my boyfriend has a London accent, so I'm surrounded by like 2 different types of accents, right? And then I have my own way that I learned how to speak English, and the way that it feels natural to me. But now I feel like some words I'm saying, so 1/3 is in an English accent, 1/3 in a Scottish accent, 1/3 in my original accent. So now my accent is like this weird mixture of I don't know, accents, to the point where I just feel like I have a broken accent now. I don't know how to describe it. Like it's this weird hybrid that I don't know what to make of it. I always try to switch back to my original accent, like how I used to speak, but then I find myself saying things like banana, which doesn't sound Scottish, doesn't sound English because of the way I say it, right? But I used to call it banana. Now I say banana. Oh, that's just one stupid example, but anyways, that's the first that came to my mind. It's so funny. I love it here. Anyways, the other topic that I want to talk about, I literally made a list and it's so random. I just took out my notes and I'm like, okay, what facts can I give about myself? What is the whole point of this video, right? It's just to give people as many random facts about myself. It's just of me speaking in front of the camera, like getting used to doing it, getting people to know me, welcoming them to my channel, you know, giving them an idea about like who I am, my personality, what my story is, what it consists of, and hopefully give them the courage to do the same and, you know, realize that everyone is unique in their own way and that there's nothing that would make you not good enough to share your story, your thoughts, and to just have a voice. Right, let me talk about just me starting this YouTube channel, right? I think like as many would say, right, when they start a YouTube channel, the reason that they started is that it's something that they've always wanted to do, right? And to be honest, in my case, it literally is something that I've always wanted to do. I'm part of the generation that grew up with, you know, the OG YouTubers, like the 2008, not really 2000. I know YouTube started in 2006. I'm pretty sure it started in 2006, but I don't think I discovered it until 2007, 2008, kind of like around that time. But I grew up with like the OG YouTubers where like nothing was polished on YouTube. Everything was just pure, like just pure giggles, right? Pure giggles and just pure stupidness, which was hilarious and which just made you want to also be a creator and make you feel like, oh, you know, I can do that with my friends, I can have fun, I can create fun content. But unfortunately, I was just obviously I was a kid. I was 20 times as scared of like exposing myself to the internet, which probably wouldn't have been a smart idea anyways, like being a minor. But obviously the internet was a bit of a more tamed world than it is now. Now it's the absolute Wild West. I was just so scared to do that. And it's also the fact that literally no one in Romania, not no one, but like a lot of people didn't even know about YouTube. Like I would have been probably the first Romanian kid YouTuber, which would have been hilarious. It was just too much pioneering for me at that time. But it was something that I wanted to do so bad. And the funny thing is, I actually had like two best friends that I managed to convince into doing like some funny skits that I will not even talk about, but those are probably one of my favorite memories from my childhood / teens, like doing those absolutely stupid skits with those friends. I don't know if we posted any of them actually. I don't remember. Well, I definitely like we went ahead and like I went ahead and edited everything. Oh, I loved editing everything. I edited in Video Maker, obviously on Windows. I remember editing them. One had like parts, so we actually made a series, and I was like, wow, look at us, we're doing it. Yeah, I'm being a video creator. Oh, it was the best thing. But yeah, see, fear just limited us, and also probably protected us because, like as I said, we were kids. I don't know. I truly have always wanted to do this, and I guess it's always going to be a little regret of mine not doing it like sooner. Obviously, letting fear tell me that I'm not good enough, I don't have enough to offer. But hey, I'm here now, I'm doing it now, and it is what it is, alright? You can't control when you do something, but you can control whether you do it, whether sooner or later. It's better later than never. Right, so I've always just wanted to do this, and hey, it is what it is. And you people might think, whoever's interested in doing this as well might think, oh no, but like, I know every single fear you have right now of starting, I still have them. whilst doing this. But I mean, I know I'll be okay, right? Whether this channel makes it or not, whether I gain subscribers or not, whether I get views or not, probably not in the beginning, and I'm okay with that. But no matter where this new journey takes me, right, I don't care. I really don't care, and neither should you. You should not attach yourself to the outcome. My cat's making weird noises. Don't attach yourself to any outcome. Don't make this your life or death thing. Like, it's not that deep. You're just having fun, and that's how you should approach it. You don't need a plan. You don't need a strategy. You don't need, cool, if you want to be, serious about it and actually turn it into something that's going to make you money very quickly, and you have the resources for that and the ideas for that, go for it. But even if you don't, and it's just something you want to do, just go for it. Okay? Yeah, we can talk about fears and maybe how to overcome them, or how to act despite of having them, in a different video. If you want me to record one, I'll gladly do that. I'll just tell you, obviously I can only tell you about my perspective and how I treat these fears and how I deal with them and what I tell myself to be able to act despite of them. So I'll gladly make a video about that if you want me to. Right, there's another very random fact about me, right? So when I moved to Scotland, so I've always had gel nails, right? And back in Romania, obviously I had my nail tech, who I loved, and her work was amazing. And I used to be, I hate to say this, but I always used to be like one of those slightly annoying clients that, wanted their nails a certain way. And I'll explain why, but now I understand why. She probably secretly hated me, but she was always so lovely. And I wasn't a jerk. I never was impolite or mean or anything. But deep down, I just had this wish of always having perfect nails, and that perfection, that you see on the very Pinteresty looking nails, right? I just wanted that, and I could never ever achieve it. But I found her, and she managed to achieve that for me, which was unbelievable. So I was so happy about that. But I only met her, I think, like 4 months before I had to leave to move to Scotland, and I was so sad. It was what it was. Obviously I had to move, and I moved here, and I had to find a different nail tech. Sadly, where I moved, and in the UK in general, the techniques that she was using and that they mostly use in Eastern Europe are not that popular. I'm not saying the techniques that they use here for gel nails are worse or better. They're just different, and they didn't quite align with what I wanted from a manicure, right? It was just my preference, right? I couldn't find a result that would satisfy me, at least at that time, right? So I went to a place that was very, well rated. It wasn't exactly the cheapest place, so I had very high expectations of that place. Unfortunately, the disappointment after having my nails done there was so strong that it pushed me into teaching myself how to do my own nails, because I was that neurotic about it. I was like, it has to be a certain way. And let's just say, not only were they not perfect to my standard, they were horrible. Okay, so I was like, okay, cool, I'm not spending this much money and getting these results that probably other people think are okay. No offense, but a vast majority of people are paying for very bad manicures here where I live in Scotland. So anyways, I became very aware of that fact, right? And I don't know, maybe if I researched enough, I would have found someone that used a technique that I would have been happy with, or that had results I would have been happy with. But I was like, you know what, the only way to do something well is if you do it yourself, which is not always true, but that's what I told myself. I was like, okay, let me just learn how to do this. How hard can it be, right? So I spent about a year practicing, learning techniques that I knew I liked and I knew that would give me results that I wanted, right? And slowly I became good enough to the point where I was actually happy with my own nails. I actually liked them. And then I said, you know what? I love doing this so much. I actually want to try and make some money out of it. So I started working as a self-employed private nail tech. And I actually had clients. And I actually found myself in the middle of running a business that I just started on a whim. And that was actually working. And I was like, oh my God. And doing something that I actually enjoyed doing. So yeah, I did that for a while. But it was actually working. Like, I actually became a nail tech like almost overnight. And I met some amazing people. Oh my God. I had no friends, almost. Like, aside from my boyfriend, I had almost no friends, right? After moving here, until I actually started doing nails, and a lot of my clients became my friends. And this is just proof of how just deciding to do something that you want to do, even though you're scared of doing it, you cannot imagine how scared I was with my first like 5 clients. Ugh. There's one thing doing your own nails, and there's another thing like working on someone else's hands. Ugh. But it's just proof of how, you know, starting something that you're afraid to start but that you want to start can take you places that you never thought of, or can just bring you new experiences, new wonderful experiences that you would have never lived if you hadn't started the thing that you were so scared to start. And that brings me back to YouTube. YouTube is just another thing that I'm literally starting the same way that I started doing nails. That, you know, went a lot better than I ever thought it would. So yeah, that's another cool fact. I guess it's another thing that gave me the confidence to start this YouTube channel. Right, so as I mentioned, this page is not going to be like your usual aesthetics. Oh, look at me. One, I don't have the resources for that. I don't have the aesthetics needed for that kind of content. I could sorry, I just got a message. I could have the knowledge could acquire the knowledge on how to make those videos, but I would rather have a page that is based on authenticity, just actually forming a connection with your audience, maybe even making new friends here, for just forming a community where people view YouTube as a place where you can just be yourself, be comfortable, you know, talk about your thoughts, you know, and not be perfect and not have to be perfect. That's what I want my channel to be about. It's about not being perfect and being okay with it, and being okay with people seeing you not being perfect, right? And becoming comfortable with that, and becoming comfortable with not always saying the right things, and not always like finding your words, and not always being coherent in what you're saying, and maybe sometimes accidentally being offensive, okay? But always having the right intentions at heart, and always being yourself, and holding yourself accountable to, you know, what you're saying, and whether there are consequences or whether you offend anyone, you know, apologizing for that. Just being human, right? Being a decent human, but taking that and bringing it to YouTube, instead of just being this character that portrays a certain lifestyle that I can or maybe I can't uphold. You know, talk about impersonal things like, I don't know, luxury brands, and I don't have any of those. But I'm just saying, if I were, right? Or just things that don't make you feel like you can create a connection with the person you're watching, or that you can actually relate to that person, right? Because I can't count the number of times that just the feeling that I could relate to somebody that I was watching actually saved me in that moment from the negative thoughts that I was having, or just the negative time I was going through, it just managed to show me that, yeah, you aren't alone. There's someone else out there in the world that, you know, thinks like you, or thinks in a way that you like, that, you know, understands things the same way that you do, that views the world the same way that you do, and there's nothing wrong with you, and there's a place for everyone. Yeah, I just want to be a living proof that everyone's good enough to have a channel if that's what they want to do. So that's what this channel is going to be about. It's not going to be your usual influencer vibes, aesthetic vibes, Pinterest vibes kind of video. Like, look behind me, right? I live in a rented apartment where the previous owner had something stuck onto the door, and my door is full of duct tape marks that if you guys have any advice on how to remove this, I've tried a lot of things, but I'm gonna keep looking for a solution. House clothes hanging on top of my door. I'm on my bedroom floor right now. I have my lovely cat on top of a suitcase that I haven't unpacked yet. That's full of hair now because of her sleeping on it. I want to say this is reality, but maybe this is just my reality. Maybe other people have a perfectly aesthetic house, and that's always clean, and that's you know, I have corners in my house where I can film and have the perfectly aesthetic background, but I just feel like filming on my bedroom floor right now. Okay, now that's what I'm doing. Okay, if you don't resonate with this type of content, then you're free to click off, but if you do, then you're free to stay, and I'll be happy to have you here. So yeah, I don't know, I hope this was a good enough introduction to my channel, to kind of just give an idea about the kind of person I am. Obviously, I'm still quite nervous in front of the camera, and I probably will be for a while. That's why I would like to make more of these kinds of videos where I just sit in front of the camera and talk about just whatever. If you guys have suggestions, please leave them in the comments. But that's why I want to do more videos where I just talk in front of the camera, because it will just make me feel more natural talking in front of the cameras, and then in front of the camera, and then you guys will get to get a more real version of myself, right, when you look at my videos. But yeah, I can't really think of anything else. That's pretty much what I wrote in my notes. I know maybe it's a bit, maybe like it's just scratching the surface of my story, who I am. I would love to not bore you guys with everything all at once, and instead give you the chance to choose, you know, what you'd like to hear more of, or my thoughts on, in the comments. So please leave your comments below, and I would love to hear especially what your fears are when it comes to showing yourself and your thoughts to the internet. What are your limitations? What are your limiting beliefs? What are your blockages? What do you think it is that you fear most about starting a YouTube channel? Even though, you know, your heart wants it, your mind tells you you're missing out, you should do this, you have the potential for it. You won't be great in the beginning, but you might become someone people actually want to watch. Let me know in the comments what it is, and I can assure you a lot of them I also had and still have. So yeah, I like to know yours, and maybe this way, you know, we can create a safe space where people can be real, they can do what they enjoy doing, where they don't have to fear, you know, being judged and evaluated constantly on how perfect they are and how well they present themselves. And we can just celebrate being humans, doing what they enjoy, and having fun on YouTube. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry if I was already all over the place. I knew this is how it was going to go. It's just my second video. I have accepted the fact that I'm gonna be very, very bad at this for the next, like, I don't know how many videos, but at least I think I would say I want to give myself like a target, right? I want to be acceptably good at speaking in front of the camera in 10 videos max. Like I want to be able to do that. Let's say 10 videos, but for that I need to be consistent, and I hope I will manage to, because life is about to get quite busy for me. But that's why I'm saying your guys' input with ideas about videos I could talk about, from topics that I've already mentioned, or topics that you think I might, know things about, or I might be able to talk about. That's why I'm asking you if you guys could give me these some ideas in the comments. It'll be great. I already have some ideas, obviously I wrote them down for future videos, but if you guys have other ideas, I'd love to prioritize those instead. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm gonna go and do some chores. I have some things to do in the house, and yeah, oh, I'd love to make some vlogs as well. Oh, I have so many ideas, but yeah, see, I'm just getting excited. This is the effect of doing something that you like doing, something that you're excited about doing. This is the effect that, doing something that you like, even though you're scared of doing it, has on you. Like, I don't know, you can just see I'm just like, oh, I'm just so happy. You can see the happiness in my face. I'm like, oh my god, I actually did this. I actually filmed this video. I finished it. I didn't interrupt it. I didn't stop it. I didn't script it. I just spoke freely. I maybe sounded stupid in some parts. I maybe sounded, I don't know, weird, awkward. I was definitely awkward, but I did it, and I'm just so proud of myself. And I wish you will have this feeling as well one day. And you definitely had it in other aspects of your life, but I wish you can have it in everything else that you want to start, that you're just afraid of starting. It's a great, great, great feeling. Right. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.